Hello, wonderful people of ABAKALIKI. You're welcome to another exciting episode on Corpers Forum, the one place to be for the latest in education, entertainment, and information. It's a new year, and of course, it is no secret that every Saturday when we come here, we have lots of goodies in store for you. From the latest national Ajuwaya news to the news updates and the Amebo Gist Corner. My name is Samson Michael, and I'm going to be your host for this program this beautiful afternoon. Before I forget, this is the first time we'll be speaking to you this year, and I sure cannot wait to tell you everything we have planned for you today on this show. As always, we have invited amazing people who are not just well-versed in topics we discuss, but also willing to share from their wealth of knowledge. Today, we have two very beautiful guests on this show, and I cannot wait to introduce them to you. Without wasting much time, let's meet our guests.
I'm London Idafe.
Hello everyone, I'm Magdalene Okon. Thank you so much for having me.
Amazing. It's awesome to have you here, London and Magdalene, here with us. Welcome to the Corpers News Forum, and we're honored to have you on the show, and we look forward to learning a lot from you. Now, before we go on, let's get started with the latest national Ajuwaya news.
Hello, and you're welcome to the news segment on the Corpers Forum. I am Havila. Now the headlines. Those responsible for Ibadan explosion must be punished. Tinubu. Federal government vows to make Abuja hot for bandits.
That was the Ajuwaya news update by Havila and Betty. If you're just joining us, you're welcome to the Corpers Forum on Salt FM ABAKALIKI. Before we begin our discussion segment, let's come on now, stay tuned, and enjoy this beautiful piece from Chike featuring Mobad. Welcome back from the musical break. If you're just joining us, this is the Corpers Forum brought to you by NYC EBONYI State on Salt FM ABAKALIKI. Welcome, relax, and enjoy this great time on air with us. We have a dynamic topic of discussion today, and it's the New Year, New Me, where we talk about a lot ranging from New Year resolutions and how to do things differently this year in order to achieve everything on your list. Yeah, so New Year resolutions are the goals which we've mapped out for the year in order to plan our year. Let's hear from our guests. So, London Idafe, what are your thoughts on New Year resolutions?
Thank you, presenter. I think having a New Year resolution is a good thing to work with. My thought for New Year resolution is dynamic, I will say. It is dynamic because of how the country is today and how things are going. For me, I created a 5-year plan. Indeed, creating a 5-year plan can help, or better still, updating an existing one will definitely help anyone who wishes to achieve a larger goals in time to come. It is good to know this, that a 5-year plan is a personal list of goals that you want to achieve in the next 5 years. And the big question here is, how is it possible? For instance, if I have a long-term goal to buy a bigger house, then a smaller goal might include setting aside a certain amount of money each month to be deposited on a home loan. And secondly, I established a self-care routine. This year, I really strategized. I planned to pay attention to myself as part of my New Year resolution by dedicating time to activities that brings joy and contribute to my well-being. Though a lot of people misunderstood this oftentimes, but the truth is that you cannot give what you don't have. Yeah, that is the truth. This will help, and it is any actions that you take to improve your mental and physical or emotional well-being. We all need them to function in our best.
Okay, thank you so much, London, for that contribution. Just as he had said, resolutions are goals which help to better your future and also give your year a strategic movement. So, Magdalene, how effective do you think new resolutions are?
Firstly, I would say New Year resolution are effective steps that we take to begin the year. So New Year resolution, as we all know, revolves around self-improvement, health and personal development, career advancement, financial resolution, learning and skills development, relationship improvement, and the list goes on. Now, the effectiveness of this New Year resolution, as we've listed, depends on certain realistic, specific, and achievable goal. I will personally say that it boils down to being intentional about these goals that you set. Having a support system can also help in tracking your progress as you proceed in the year. Adjusting these goals also help. So because you set the goal does not mean that you should achieve it in a particular time. I think you should extend it so as to have enough time to achieve these goals. And another thing that helps is regular reflection and adaptation. Regular reflection is if you wake up in the morning, you tend to go back to those goals to seek out the ones that you've achieved, and then you have an overview of what you've not achieved. In conclusion, I would just say that New Year resolution is actually a template that helps us, gives us a guide as we journey through the year.
Okay, thank you so much, Magdalene, for that wonderful contribution. So, how would you address the problem that come with not sticking to the resolutions you've made? We have cases of people where they've made goals for the year, maybe January 1st or 31st night. They've made a list of things they want to accomplish in the year, and starting from 1st of January, maybe this person can say, I want to lose so and so kg, I want to start earning dollars and stuff like that. So, and you find out most times they might actually start well, maybe the first week, second week, third week of January, and then you find that they're going to relapse. How would you address the problems that come with not sticking to the goals you've made for the year?
Thank you very much for that question. Like I said earlier, I feel one challenge we have is we tend to compare ourselves with others. I would love to say that we as people, we vary. So our goals, just as we vary, just as we are different personalities, we love different things, we aspire to be different things. So that's how our goals too varies, and it has different approaches to it. So we should set goals that we are going to be intentional about achieving it, not something that is outside ourselves. Most times we tend to want to be in a competition with friends or want to compete with the society at large. So I feel we should set goals that align with what we want, our careers, our self-development. Those are the things that will help us, and everything still boils down. It is actually allowed to think big, but just as you are thinking big, you should set goals that revolves around yourself, not something that right inside you it's actually very difficult to achieve this, but just because you are meant to set a goal or you are meant to have a new year resolution, then you go as large as certain things that will never be achieved even in the next 5 years. Now, I would love to say that we have something called achievable goals, we have specific goals, and also anything you are setting for yourself have to be realistic. It should be something that you wake up and then you check your plans and okay, I am working in line with this. Now, the essence of New Year resolution is to serve as a guide, so that you will not, for instance, let me set an example. You woke up today and then you did not have a plan for your day. If you don't have a plan for your day, just know that people will definitely plan your day for you. So it goes down to having a kind of direction on things to do, things that I am meant to achieve, even as I go by the year. Now, this New Year resolution helps you to know what to do at a particular time. So it is not your place to compete with anybody or the society. Nobody is putting you on a rush or on a speed. So take your time, ensure that you enjoy the process. It's a process. You are trying to work on yourself to become the best version of yourself. That's the essence of everything. You want to chase your dream. You want to be able to set high standards for yourself. So all of these things, putting in a specific goal that you know that you can achieve it even within yourselves, goes a long way to making your New Year resolution effective. Thank you.
Okay, just as she has said, it is one thing to make goals, and then it is another thing to make unrealistic goals. So whatever goal you're making for the year has to be realistic. It has to be something that you know is achievable. London, what do you have to add to that?
Thank you very much. Well, not sticking to the resolutions that come with the new year will lead to a lot of failure in the year ahead and even in the present year. This is because a lot of people think too big and not considering the why behind them. In other words, one needs to stick to his or her plan as earlier planned, and the fact that we may not be ready for change. So to me, I will definitely address the problems for the fact that change is constant, and that is when being dynamic, we have to come to play.
Okay, thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. Okay, so now to our guest. What advice do you have for young people who are feeling unmotivated about their goals for the year, and those who haven't even made plans at all? Now, we talked about making unrealistic goals and someone who is listening to this now would probably go back and then check whatever goals they've set for the year, and I probably think that okay, this is realistic, this is not realistic, and then when they find out that most of the goals they've set are unrealistic, quote unquote. So how would you what would you advise them? Yes. And then there are people who have who've not even made any plan at all. Like they're saying maybe January is too long. They used to say that January has 60 days. What would you advise those who are feeling unmotivated from the goals they've made, and then those who have not even made goals at all? So what advice would you give them?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. This is actually a very nice question. Okay, first and foremost, if you've actually made a New Year resolution and you feel you are not motivated or you are not able to achieve it, I would advise that you re-strategize. Go back to the goals that you set, one after the other. Check them to ensure that they are something that really align with you. They are something you want. Let it not be such that you actually saw probably a celebrity or somebody comes online and the person said that, okay, this is my New Year resolution and this is what I want to do. And then you copy from there. No, you should have, we are all different. We have different personalities. We have different goals. We have different dreams. We aspire to be different personalities. So you don't have to like depend on what another person is doing. And you shouldn't feel you are in a competition. Like I said, like, don't feel you're in a competition with anybody. You have to become what anybody is becoming. And another thing I would love to say is be intentional about it. Like, I know that most of us, if we want to review our New Year resolution, the number one thing is we want to be consistent with God. Yes, everybody have made that resolution. So one thing there's this popular quote in Christendom that says that the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak. So most times we set those resolutions to keep us moving, to help us forge ahead, but at the end of the day we end up not getting to them, we end up not achieving them, and then we feel, why did I even say this thing? Oh, this doesn't work for me. New Year resolution doesn't work for me. New Year resolution actually does work for everybody, but it boils down to consistency and intentionality. You have to be intentional about it. Set specific goals, know what you want for yourself and work towards it. Another thing is, don't have a time frame. Like, you shouldn't say, okay, this particular goal I must achieve it within January. It's a must, like it's a do or die. No, you don't do that. This is just to serve as a template. Like I said earlier, it's just like a kind of focus, a direction. The fact that you are not able to attain it in January does not mean we don't have February, we don't have March, we have other months coming ahead and better opportunities are still coming ahead. So work towards that, be consistent, be intentional about everything, and with God you'll be able to achieve all those dreams.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I noted two things from what she said. She talked about being consistent and being intentional. So yes, realistically, whatever goal you are setting, yes, no matter how simple or how hard that goal may seem, if you're not intentional about it, I do not think you are getting anywhere. So she said we should be consistent and we should also be intentional about it. So London, what do you have to add to that?
Thank you once again. My advice to young people out there is that they need to stay focused and do not accept any form of distraction, irrespective of where it is coming from. Pay attention to positive things and be persistent in every positive thing you find yourself doing. And for those who are yet to make or work on their plans, should start doing so. Start now, for time wait for no one. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful contribution. Yes, so we've heard everything our speakers have said, and we know what new resolutions are. So you don't have to make it grand. It could just be maybe 5 things you want to achieve this year, or things you want to do. Maybe you want to eat healthy, you want to live right, lose weight, get a job, change your job, resign, or start a business or something. You don't have to make it something big before you know you've made a goal for the year. And you should also start small. I think that's something that most people, they've forgotten. When you're making goals, you don't need to start big. Start with the small things, the things you know that you can achieve. Maybe, okay, you want to lose weight. Yes, you're number one. Start with staying off sugar. Maybe staying off soda. I think that should be like, if you've conquered the soda aspect, I think you've conquered like 30% of the whole weight loss journey thing. So start small, start with something that you know it's achievable, and then when you see the results, it will motivate you to do more. It has truly been an exciting and educating session, and we hope you've learned from every bit of today's discussion, because we've enjoyed bringing this to you. But it's time to go, and of course we hope to come back better and serve you best. On behalf of our producer, Mr. Chika Igwe, and news and sport correspondents Havila and Betty, and the rest of the production team, I am Sam for Michael. Once again, thank you for being on this journey with us. Remember to stay safe, be security conscious, and be your brother's keeper. If you see something, you say something. See you next week for another exciting episode of this program. Happy New Year.